I'm aware of everything that's wrong with me, but still you accept me anyway. I live with the past I can't get past, and it still haunts me. So I'm asking for the courage to make a change. By your grace I have hope. You've already paid every debt I owe. Please take my chains and make me see that by your grace I've been set free.
Hey y'all, it's me again. Having a little issue with the truck this time. So, had some issues with it right now. It's not going into overdrive, and the check engine light is flashing at me. The cruise control won't work. So I don't know if you can hear that. So I just went to the parts house, had them put the code reader on it, and it says it's a 335, which is a crankshaft position sensor. Something else too is that it drags when it starts, like it doesn't have any fuel, which makes sense if the sensor's not telling the computer properly. I guess. I mean, I know basic how to change parts. I'm not a mechanic, so which I always thought it was a fuel issue, but it's done that since I've gotten the truck. So we went ahead and we ordered the part. Be here this afternoon, and in the next day or two I'll be putting that on. Probably not gonna have time tonight to put it on. So and it might rain tomorrow, so it may be a day or two. But hey, it's Friday, 4th of July weekend, so really not gonna need the truck for too much. So, but we'll tack on the adventure of putting on the sensor here as soon as we get that shot, and then we'll get this posted. So y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Hey, y'all see that? Man, it's a great running truck. It's a great running truck when it runs. It runs right now. As y'all have seen, I've been battling an issue with it not going into overdrive, with it sorry, it's hot out here. And it's only, I don't know, 10 o'clock? Yeah, 11 o'clock. Sorry. So it's still by morning. But getting a little late start. So, like I said, I've had battling an issue with not going into overdrive. Cruise control didn't work. Real slow at startup. It would just crank before it finally turned over. Replace the crank sensor. That's what the code showed. But then it was still doing it. So that's kind of where I left off. I took it back up to the parts store, ran the code, was getting another check engine light, checked that, showed a code for a cylinder 5 misfire, which the first time it showed the crankshaft sensor, and it showed a cylinder misfire, didn't just a general cylinder misfire code. So now, I was scratching my nose, I wasn't picking it. So I went ahead and bought plugs and a coil, thinking that would fix the problem. And it didn't. So still doing it. So I put on one of the Facebook pages I'm on for Dodge Trucks a question out there. Guy told me that he had the same issue, and that it was a wire shorting out, that it rubbed bare and it was touching. So decided this morning to go up and get up underneath there, take a look, and let me show you what we found. So sorry guys, I'm fat. I don't fit underneath here very well. I would if I didn't have these running boards on it, but I'm short too, so I need those as well. All right, so that's the crankshaft position sensor. We replaced that. That's the wiring, and if you look down, I've got oil on it, which apparently has been doing this for a little while. So it wasn't like that before when I got up under here. So started looking a little closer and following the wire. Well, guess what I found? I noticed it was leaking after I changed the oil and I tightened up the oil filter even more. In the process of doing that, I didn't notice that, sorry if I blinded y'all, didn't notice that I had pinched the wire between the filter and the block. So I do believe that is where my problem's coming from. So we're gonna back that oil filter off and pull the wire out, see what condition the wire's in, clean it up, hopefully tape it off, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. So if you didn't notice, I've got the oil pan in here because I'm going to lose a little bit of oil when I do this, but I've got more. Fortunately enough, the wife's van in my truck takes the same type of oil, so I always keep some on hand. So we're going to get this done, and we'll be back. All right, so I was able to get the oil filter backed off. Made a little bit of a mess because when you're using an oil pan, it's pretty important to take the lid off first. And I forgot to do that. So I got in a rush. Don't do that. Just makes a mess. So got the oil filter backed off, pulled the wire out. Didn't lose as much oil as I thought I might. But I did have to back it off significantly. Apparently there's a lip right there. So now we're gonna get up under here, take a look at this wire. It's pretty oil soaked, so I don't know. I've got some electrical cleaner. And I climbed in here on my stomach. I don't know why I did that, y'all. See how pretty day it is? Y'all look at that, still look at me. Okay. Here we go. All right, so there's the wire. I pulled it back a little bit, so we're gonna spray it down with some contact cleaner, some electrical cleaner. Let it dry. Hopefully it'll get we'll get the oil off of it. If I had some brake clean, I don't know if I should do that with wiring, but you can see there where it was pinched and where the oil was coming out. So we're gonna get that done, and then we'll see what happens. Probably pull the new coil back off, see if I can't take it back to the parts house. He did say he'd let me use it to see if that was a problem, so shouldn't be a problem. Brian up there at Main Street's a good guy. So let me get this done. We'll be back. All right, so kind of give you an update. I didn't leave y'all on hold that long. I did, but I didn't. I mean, in your time, it's like not that long at all, but in my time, it was quite a few minutes. So I pulled the wire back, cleaned it up as best I could, and now I'm going back and I'm wrapping tape around the wire to protect it from anything else. I don't know where I can set this for y'all to kind of see. I don't have some fancy camera, but what I'm doing here is I'm taking the tape, simply cutting it in strips, and then not cutting too long of a strip to where it's like trying to play wrap around with a mile long rope. But I'll show y'all kind of what I'm doing here. So that's the tape. I kind of sliced it in strips to begin with while it's on the roll, and then I'm cutting this thing off. Well, I'm just tearing it really. Okay. And then as I go back, sorry, my grubby fingers, I'm leaving a piece here and then I'm simply going up underneath that and sticking them together to kind of keep it going. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to set this down. I'm going to turn this off because I can only use one hand. So be back in a minute. All right, so perhaps not the best job in the world, but this should do the trick. Gonna get around the other side, pull it back through. I know all the blood's rushed from my face. Pull back through, plug it back up, then I'm gonna take the coil off, the new one, put the old one back on, and we're gonna take it for a little test spin and see if that doesn't fix the problem. All right, so we got everything put back together. We're gonna head up to the parts store, take this coil back. Yeah, had to make sure I got the receipt. So far so good. There's a check engine light on, but that's probably just because of previous codes. Sorry, we live on a dirt road. Way in the country. It's hot. I don't fall. So we're gonna take a run down the road, see what happens. Get to the parts store, get them to clear the code, and hopefully all is restored. I don't know about y'all, but it's hot here. We hadn't had a lot of rain. We had very little. We had a little bit the other day, but it wasn't nothing but a little sprinkle. I say sprinkle. It came down pretty hard for about 5 whole minutes, and then it just stopped. Yeah, you hear that? That rattle? Process of working on the truck, trying to get stereo in, which is a whole another story, which finally got it in. Doesn't look good yet. I got to do a little touch up, little trim on the panel. It was bigger than the panel, which they'd say it's not, but it is. But yeah, I kind of broke the dash piece, which happens. Those things get very brittle over time from sitting in the sun. So that's a lot of it here. I'm hoping to get a plastic welder in the future. Perhaps fix that. Maybe we'll shoot a little video on that. But anyway, alright, we're coming up to the main road here. Oops, dropped you again. Sorry. You okay? Did that hurt? Did it hurt? No, okay, I didn't think so. Alright, so we're coming up the main road. It may not do anything on the way into town, but it may. So, sometimes it won't do it for a while. But as of right now, I can turn the cruise on. I can listen. Everything's shifting good. It's not shifting high. Let's see if it goes in overdrive. Yep. So we're cruising along now at about 2,000 RPM, which is good. Just hit 70. Set the cruise. And it's working. Normally, I'll say normal. This is normal. Okay. What it was doing before, I'd be at about 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs. So, running very high, you let off and immediately back off. It's just like you're towing something and you take the overdrive off. That's what it felt like. It actually felt like when I was on 3 speeds. But so far so good. We'll get up here, get this taken care of, and then let y'all know what happens. All right, so just wanted to shoot this last portion, let y'all know what happened. Got that wire fixed. It's been now 2 weeks. truck's running great. So that was the problem. So like I said before, always double check your own work. So, all right, well, y'all have a great one. God bless. Love you guys.
Got a long way to go, but Lord, I know there's not a step I'm gonna take when you're not with me.